Okay, so we got the live streaming started. I'm starting our timer. We might as well also, if we're gonna do live stream, let's get the
Please kindly link it at the appropriate.
okay, yeah, I'll link it. But I'm also getting the
recording in progress.
The transcript set up as well. Okay, so we got transcript, we got notes, everything is live. Oh wait, we wanted the link. Let me get you the link real quick. You know you're able to get the link directly, right? You just go to the channel.
Yeah,
Alright, so I put the link on line 6.
Okay, cool. I got it.
And I think we're ready for topic 3 now.
So I'm doing the indexing right away.
Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Alright, so let's start with the link to the tax system itself. So this is the overall tax system spreadsheet, line 5. So our overall goals is UI agent training for Fiscus. So we're going to want to make a list of all the documents to train Fiscus with. And then we're going to need to kind of like go over our setup and overall deadlines. Okay, so let's take a look at the tax system spreadsheet. This should give us an overall context on the process. So the first thing is the setup. So the setup is supposed to be due in November. We currently do not have a deadline. So deadline could be, for example, November 15th, right? So that would give us basically 2 weeks to get set up for our taxes. But I'll mark this as orange because we currently don't have the deadline for that.
For 2025. 2026.
Yeah. So this will be the 2025 tax plan for the 2026 year. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, technically speaking, it's the 2025 to 26 year because we start November 25, right?
Yeah.
So I would say most likely this is going to be better to be, you know, November 30th or something as opposed to November 15th because we already have on November 15th is the nonprofit taxes are due. Okay? So
yes.
It might be good to give us 2 weeks after the nonprofit taxes are due so that we can do that. But the nonprofit taxes are part of at the end of the 2024 year. So then we have the annual taxes planning, which is supposed to be done by December. Right? So this is so basically the setup, the planning is part of the setup. I mean, the planning is not part of the setup. So the first process is the actual planning, which is due in December. So we could say like December 15th for that.
Take a break. Please stop. Write down whatever you're about to say and take a break for 6 minutes.
So then you have the second process is the the W8s and W9s. So this is where we ask every single person to update their legal relationship. So, you know, this one, I don't know, maybe we try to get it done by the end of the year. I don't really know, but we know that it's due basically in January and February. The 1099s are due. So we need the W1s 4s and W8s and all that to be able to complete the 1099s, which are due in January and February. So I'm not sure, that's like, January 31st or something. So I don't know exactly how we want to organize the deadlines here. Maybe Fiscus can help us organize that. Okay, so then from there you go the franchise taxes, and then you do the extensions. Okay, so why do we do the extensions?
Okay, cool.
Why do we do the extensions?
I don't know.
We do the extensions because we don't do the work.
Okay. So
Alright?
it's like a grace to give us a grace to meet up before the deadline.
Yes. So we can easily do all of the taxes in January for the entire year. And we get paid for all of the money for all of the deliverables in January. You don't have to wait till February, you don't have to wait till March, you don't have to wait till November. Right? But we just don't do the work.
Okay.
So because we don't do the work, we file for extensions, and then that gives us till all the way till November, August, October, September, November, to get all the taxes done. And then we still don't do the taxes the whole summer, and then we do the taxes at the last minute every single time because we just don't do the work. Right? There's no reason whatsoever to wait until November to do taxes that we can do in January, except for the fact that we just don't do the work. Okay? That makes sense?
Okay. Yeah, it's going to change henceforth.
Say what?
I said that is going to change henceforth.
I just don't understand.
I said that is going to change henceforth. Once we understand the system of how the taxes work in terms of doing the work, it is going to change.
Well, no, I mean, hopefully once we get Fiscus on it, Fiscus will do the work for us.
Yes, that's perfect. As long as we have something that can do it for us.
Yeah. So this is basically, everything else is just doing the taxes. So process, the other 20 processes are just doing the taxes. So this is all just getting everything set up for the taxes, and then we actually do the taxes. So if we're talking about actually doing the taxes, we can break it down to training. So trainings for Fiscus. So obviously we want to do the setup for the trainings. It shouldn't be very hard. So we're going to want to get the setup and the planning, organizing information, and the W8s, W9s, 1099s. So we want to get all of this, the franchise taxes. We want to get all this information to Fiscus. From there, the number one thing is going to be getting the CSV bank statements organized and getting all of the bank statements and balances presented to Fiscus for each legal entity. So that's going to be a LE, right? The legally established entity, so the LEs. So then Fiscus, then we'll have to train Fiscus how to process all this data for the umbrella ledgers. So then Fiscus should be able to create the umbrella ledgers for us, automatically categorize everything, and then from there what we're going to want is some sort of breakdown from Fiscus on how to fill out the forms. So from there we're going to want to basically have a list of AI agent specialists and platforms for each tax level. So then we're going to review taxes with AI agent specialists. So this would be, specialist trained AI agents for trained by tax professionals. And if we have questions, we can always ask our own tax professionals. And we need to make sure that Fiscus knows we can ask the tax professionals, like the human tax professionals, our own human tax professional advisors. Okay, so basically, hopefully that makes sense as far as this is not a step or a process. This is training for breaking down the taxes. Doing taxes breakdown for training Fiscus, right? So these are all the things that we're going to want to have listed and ready to give to Fiscus.
Okay.
Right? But we're going to follow our process and our trainings the same.
Time to start. Please get focused on the session.
Okay. Okay. So we can actually call all these listed items training Fiscus or what?
These are all the things that we need to do for training for Fiscus, right?
Okay.
So we need to get
Okay,
CSV. We have to get CSV documents, train how to process all the data, automatically categorize everything, and then breaking down what needs to go into the forms. Yes, this is all training for Fiscus. Like, you don't need to rewrite the same thing over and over again. We know what this is. It's a list of things that we need to train Fiscus, okay?
Okay, cool. Okay.
List for training Fiscus. I don't know why you guys are so focused on changing this list around. This is nothing for us. This is for Fiscus. So what we need to do for Fiscus, okay?
Yes.
So once we have the overall systems laid out for how to work with Fiscus, it should be just repeated for every single time. So we're most likely going to be training Fiscus for each individual form and organization separately, right? So every time, let's say we're going to start taxes on Innovate United LLC. Then we're going to train Fiscus. Okay, this is exactly what Innovate United LLC is doing. These are the forms that need to be filled out. This is how it works, and this is what's going to go on. So that will be a separate training every single time. So we'll do an overall training for taxes overall for the whole planning and the getting started. But then we're going to, once we get to the actual taxes for each entity, every single entity will be a separate training module, just like we do for the humans. So it'll be the same for the humans, and the UIs will be the same thing. All right, so eventually, once the UI systems are broader, maybe we could train Fiscus all at once to do all the taxes simultaneously, but right now, that is just not possible with our current system.
Okay.
So we're just going to do one at a time, all right? So I think that's pretty much everything. It's really not that much information that we need to get to Fiscus. It's not that particularly complicated. So, I don't know. It doesn't look like a lot for me. It looks pretty straightforward and simple.
Okay. Cool.
So the main focus on process 0 through 5. So in process 0 through 5, we want to get all of this to Fiscus right away, getting our setup for Fiscus, the annual tax planning for Fiscus. The annual tax planning is also going to go through these AI agents. So we're going to need to get all the deadlines. So verify, review, and verify all deadlines.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So just to remind everybody of for-profit, individual, plus non-profit. So usually in general, we have 3 primary tax deadlines. The for-profit is going to be in March 15th, and then you get a 6-month extension when we do the extension. So then those are due in September 15th. Right? So March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Okay, well I think we're pretty much done with this, right? We can take a break. I'm fine taking a break.
Yeah, let's take 2 minutes, 3 minute break.
Okay, let's take 2 minutes. 2 minutes is better.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I am back. All right, so anyways, I put the general deadlines for for-profit, non-profit, and individual trust taxes, right? Like those are the general deadlines. But then we're going to want to verify the exact deadlines, and of course you want to verify the exact number of each one and how many organizations we have and what they are and the tax IDs and all the details, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So my question here first is, now you said we need to ask our human task professional advisors. Who are they? Are they like task officials from government agencies or what?
Well, we can call government agencies to get tax help. We've done that many times. So you have government helplines, right? There is also the National Self-Employed Association or something other. Anyways, that group has tax specialists that help us with our taxes, and then we also used to have another tax group that did us. But again, right now we're focusing on the AI agent specialist. So I can share my screen real quick and just show you how that works. Because we have basically every possible detail of information we could ever want for taxes, like at the tip of our finger. So let's see here. I want to share this one. Okay, can you see my chat GPT?
Yep, I can see.
So if I click on GPTs and I explore and I say, okay, USA taxes, taxes IRS. We'll just say taxes IRS. Tax USA IRS help for personal and business taxes. So this one's been downloaded 1,000 times. Not a lot, but a little bit. But it definitely this will basically tell us anything and everything we want to know about taxes. Okay? And if we just look at just general taxes in general, there's probably some that are even more or bigger. This contract lawyer that I found has been downloaded over 2 million times, which is just insane. So this tax manager is 5,000 times. So that one's a little bit more, right? So this is an expert in U.S. tax law, the best tax helper. So as far as I'm concerned, these are just amazing, productive things. They certainly are not, we cannot rely on them. We have to do the taxes ourselves, and then we can talk to humans and tax advisors. But it's just helpful to get everything done because we can talk to these AI agents. These would be considered AI agents because they're specific for they're specialized, right? Whereas our UI agents are generalized. They're just like humans. They do everything, right? They just are general workers.
Stretch. Please stop, stand up, and stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
Cool. Anyways, Fiscus should know when and where there's issues that need to be addressed on like verifying things. For like once we have the forms, we should verify the forms, make sure they're all correct, and the information is all done. But anyways, Fiscus should be able to make everything go much faster and easier and quicker, and should be able to estimate the total taxes. It should just be much better to work with Fiscus on all of this, and it shouldn't be that hard to get it all set up because there's really not that much information.
Okay. Yeah.
So just going back to review, the first 3 steps are basically, getting organized. We want to make a list of all training documents for Fiscus on taxes. Then we want to get all the deadlines organized, with Fiscus for the whole year. Then we want to communicate with everyone within the entire network on updating their legal relationship to the organization, right? And so that's everyone's W8s, W9s, W4s, right? And then from there, we just start the taxes, which will be actually sending out the 1099s, doing the franchise taxes in the beginning of March, and then the extensions. And then once the extensions are done, we can just actually get started on the actual taxes, which would be the for-profit taxes.
Okay.
And the for-profit taxes are due around March 15th, but then we're going to extend them to September 15th, so it'll take as long as we want to get it done correctly.
Okay.
And as part of the setup and the tax planning, we're going to want to verify every single organization. So we can see here for last year, we have, these are the for-profit organizations, right? And then we have the individual and trust organizations. And then we have the nonprofit organizations. And then for every single nonprofit, we have to do the federal, the California, and the Office of Attorney General. Okay, so there's 3 separate taxes that we have to do for each one. Each one of these are considered an equal deliverable. So every single group of forms for every single level is considered a deliverable. Okay?
Okay.
So overall, you have like 27 deliverables. All right, and so I don't know exactly what the total is, but let's say you have each one of these deliverables, and the actual amount of available funds for each one will actually change the value.
Stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So each one's worth $4, but these are all 100% pay stop deadlines, so they're going to be worth $12, and you're going to multiply that by like 30. You're looking at somewhere of like, 360 times 2 could be $600 of value, maybe more. Right?
Cool.
But overall, some of these are going to be worth more than that. That would be like the minimum. So when there's no money in an organization, can't pay it. But when there's some that have money, for example, our nonprofits, we now have about $10,000. There's a couple new organizations we're going to want to consider. So the new ones is the FQN Dow LLC, and this is a Wyoming corporation LLC. And then we also have the new corporation. So this is, I have it here. Hold on a second. UVC World Inc. UVC World Inc. So and this is Delaware, right? So our new corporation is very exciting. Now we have the new corporation set up. So both of these are for-profit. So both of these are going to go into the for-profit list for March and September, right? Okay, so those are the 2 new corporations that we set up. Both of which we need to do taxes for the first time. Neither of which have any money, so the taxes will do very simple. Very simple, very easy. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. So overall, I think we're pretty much clear and done on this. There's a couple other things that are new tax components that we need to consider. Which there needs to be a verify the. It's kind of similar to the F-bar, except it's for organizations. Who oversees the F-bar? It's called this FINCEN. It's the U.S. Department of Treasury. FINCEN, I believe. Oh, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. FINCEN, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. Okay, so the FINCEN, this has two particular things that we have to do. One is the F-bar, but there's a new one that just is a new law that passed recently that we've only done once. So this includes the F-bar, which we already do every year. But then
we have. I have seen this last time. The Financial Crimes Enforcement.
Yeah. So FINCEN for organizations.
We have already ever.
Beneficial. It's like a beneficial owners. Beneficial owners Financial institutions, including organizations, establish relationship with legal entity customers requiring customer due diligence. No. Oh yeah, this is it right here. A beneficial owner is defined as an individual who either has directly or indirectly transferred ownership specifically. Beneficial ownership information fact sheet. So this is it here. Beneficial ownership information. So anyways, I don't think we need to do anything more for this, but this is something that is required. And we need to figure out what the form is for this, just so we know the legal term. So what is the form for the beneficial ownership reporting? It's the BOI. That's it. The beneficial form reporting, the BOI filing system. And this is the website. Okay? So this is the new. So the old one is the FBR, the F bar we already do. The new one's called the BOI. So the BOI is the new one. And the BOI is a new, it's called Beneficial Ownership Information Report. And it's required to be updated. I do not believe we need to do it, but we do need to verify that the BOI is updated and correct, right? So again, this is new. So every year, we need to verify that we are in good standing on the BOI, even though we might not need to actually update it or actually fill out any forms. This is still a deliverable, similar to the Schedule D. So the Schedule D is also required to be reviewed, but we don't necessarily need to fill it out. So it just depends whether or not it needs to be updated, right? So if we verify the BOI and everything is the same, then you do nothing, right? But if we need to make changes, then we would need to do updates. All right, so I don't know what the status of that is as far as like what to do, but we just need to make sure we work with all the government agencies and understand how it works. Okay?
Yeah.
Your eyes count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Are we done with this information we just got from you?
It says here that it's possible only foreign companies must report their beneficial ownership information. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, we'll figure that out later. But it's just good to note that it is something that we need to consider. But it looks like maybe we don't have to do it. Okay. Anyways, I think that's it. Any other questions on preparing for next year's taxes?
It's okay.
Well, and then also we have this transcript, right? So we can actually feed this entire transcript and all of this into Fiscus right now, and Fiscus can basically, create a plan. So if there's no other questions, then I think we are done. I don't believe I created a Fiscus in ChatGPT. We only have Fiscus for. That's one of the things we need to do is do a ChatGPT for Fiscus. Like overall, like large amounts of data, like transcripts and just lots of information are better to put through ChatGPT because even though Claude is way better at processing data and doing everything, it just has very limited amounts that it can process before it shuts down. So it's just really bad news working with Claude when you do big data sets. So typically what I like to use, I like to put all the raw data through ChatGPT, get it condensed, and then when we have actual specific important work to do, then we train and work with Claude on the implementation of the actual assignment and work. Right? So anyway, so that will be something that we want to do. So I would say the next step here, the most important step, is just to list all the documents that we need to train with Fiscus. Okay?
Okay.
So who wants to do that and get all these? And we need to get the links too. So list and get links to every document we need to train Fiscus. And we can see what Fiscus has already. So if I come in here, Fiscus. So I can see what document trainings we already have for Fiscus. Let's see.
Please stop, write down whatever you're about to say, and take a break for 6 minutes.
So it looks like I've only trained Fiscus with assets.
Oh yeah.
So all we have right now is for assets. So we need to train Fiscus on how to do taxes. So all I have so far for is just like the SIM, crypto reports, the root, and the old
So we give Fiscus on responsibility training for taxes. Or each
yes, we're going to want to do responsibility training for taxes. We're going to want to do all of the, the setup planning, the tax planning. Like if we look at this tax planning guide, it has here all the steps and responsibilities for all of the taxes and the setup and the process for getting the taxes organized each year. So yeah, we're gonna want that. We're gonna want basically prepping up the extensions, make sure that all the forms and the franchise taxes that need to be done, and the setup, and then of course the W8s, W9s process. So we should get that all to Fiscus as soon as possible, and then once we have all those documents, we can then basically get Fiscus working and running on the taxes.
Okay.
So for overall, Fiscus will be doing a couple things. So Fiscus overall roles. So Fiscus is going to be doing taxes. Fiscus is going to be doing assets. Fiscus is going to be doing financial reporting. Right? And so it kind of functions as, and it's going to be doing accounting. Right? Fiscus is going to be knowing how much money we have, and where the money is. But Fiscus will not be overseeing the bills. Bills and how much money we're spending is going to be under Valores, right? So Valores is going to oversee how much money we are spending, all the distribution of all of the money. Fiscus will also be overseeing token creation, token, management, and equity systems. So our overall equity and value systems themselves, like the actual equity systems for the tokens, will be overseen by Fiscus, but the distribution of the tokens and the actual distribution of the value itself will be overseen, and the value tracking is going to be overseen by Valores, right? So, when we create tokens and deal with all of that with Fiscus, but then when we actually send tokens out and do like the payrolls with the tokens, that's the actual distribution of the value. And then the backing of the value is all done with Valores too. So the value tracking and the distribution of the value, but the actual literal token creation will be with Fiscus and UT and things like that. Activity. So once the tokens are created and functional, then that's just normal distribution of value. Anyways, I think we're out of time on this. Any other last questions related to Fiscus or the training that we need to put together? So, can you guys find all these documents? Can you guys find all these documents and get the list going?
Yeah, for the list, for the overall goals, is it not on line 18 and line 10 and 11, they are almost the same thing. List of all documents to train Fiscus with, list and get links to every document we need to train Fiscus.
Yeah.
They sound the same.
Yeah, that's the same. It's just we need to make sure we get the links. So in the context of the deliverables here, the deliverables is the work, right? But This would be a sub-deliverable. So you can get paid for helping get the fiscus trained, and this would be an SBLC deliverable. It's like an updating fiscus's training, right? Does that make sense? So this would be considered client work, but it's a sub-deliverable work because unless we finish everything for fiscus. So if we train fiscus on everything, including taxes, assets, financial reporting, accounting, knowing how much money we have, and token creation, if we did all of that for fiscus, then we would get a full pay, and that could be worth $30 or $60 or whatever, based on our SBLC contract, which we haven't done, right? So right now it's only $4 until we finish the contract, but every time we update a agent, that will be valuable and will be a deliverable, right? But we have to complete the updating of the agent. But if we just do a minor update, just for like a sub update just for the taxes, the deliverable is the setup in the annual tax plan and actually starting the tax process with fiscus. That's the deliverable. So you'll get like a sub deliverable from updating and getting everything done, but you won't get paid that until you actually complete work with fiscus.
Yeah. I want to say something regarding this aspect of the deliverables you mentioned.
Yeah.
I think it would be more better if we can have them itemized.
And before
What
we
are
move on to
deliverables?
this part, please get focused on the session.
What are deliverables and what are the pay attached to each deliverables?
That's a deliverable. Right? So the problem is not that we don't do that. The problem is that you just don't do the work, right? So if you did the work,
not updating.
Yeah, you just don't update your deliverables list. So if we go to the list of deliverables here, one of the most important deliverables is the list of deliverables, right? So value.
I think if you finish fiscus update for tax plan, that will be like, I don't know, $4.
It
Delivery.
should be more than that. Because a lot of things are involved.
Yes, a lot of things. It's just like when you are doing taxes, you do more for home in one, and you just get, even if it is $6, it's going to $6. That is it. I don't know. There cannot be more.
So this is the setting the client potential income. So it's your potential income, and it's part of the budget, right? So this is a top right. You get $6 for every single deliverables potential income is worth $6, and there's like dozens of them, right? So this is extremely valuable and extremely important, and no one does it, no one cares, right? So once we start doing that, you're going to get a lot of money just to do that, to set the potential income, and you need to get agreement on this. You control how much money you get paid, right? So if you don't agree to it, you tell the client, no, I refuse to do the work for this much pay, right? And then you negotiate, you try to work out whatever amount of pay that you think is fair, right? So right now you get $6 every single time, because it's such a high priority, every single time that we update the deliverables values for your potential income. So in this case, we have for the taxes, right? So we can go through every single taxes deliverable and organize it all, right? So you have taxes deliverables, plus you have deliverables for each legal entity, which is also $6 each. Then you have the SBLC deliverables list, right? And then there's like dozens of more. And each one of these is worth $6 to get the deliverables organized up, and plus you're updating the entire deliverables budget, as well as worth money too, right? Plus 20 more, right? So 6 times 20 is going to be like $120 or something like that. So there's just tons of money in doing this. So the only reason that we don't have updated lists of deliverables is because no one does the work. No one does all the work, so we don't have that done. We've been talking about it for a very long time.
Okay.
And then also we need the new contract. So once we have the new contract, the value of the deliverables is going to go up, exponentially, way higher. Right? So if we do all the work now, remember where all the money is SBLC, UMC, UET, and then you have like the nonprofits have some money, and then the trusts have a little money.
US Inc.
What?
You don't have the US.
No, USA Inc. does not have a lot of money.
Okay.
So these are the contracts that have money. So if we want to get focused on something, that's where we should focus on.
Okay. I'm trying to make a proposal to have that done at Cobalt H32.5.
Yeah, we'll just focus on one at a time.
It cannot be done even when that's so mean.
Well, yeah, we just do one at a time.
One at a time.
And we also need to work on the deliverables budget. So the deliverables budget itself will be a huge priority.
That one is very important. We need to work on deliverables budgets and updating it. It is important because most of these things we don't get to know how much value for which job, what is done, and everything. So it's important. That's the first thing.
Yes, and we also have the new budget for our internal operations, our new operations budget. So that is a whole different model that we're doing for the operations. So we're gonna have a separate budget for that as well that we should do. So we could list that as well here. So operations budget.
Your proposal should be specific. We are tax plan, not taxes, not all taxes. One at a time.
Okay, you're talking to me, Lucy?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you
to 20% on tax plan.
Yeah, plan.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay.
All right. Anyways, I think we are done. Are you guys ready to wrap up and check out?
1, 2.
We are ready to wrap
1,
up.
2, 3. Pause. Inhale.
So who's gonna make the list of all of the links that we need to train Fiscus?
Lucy has the most experience on that, so she should do that.
Okay, so maybe you didn't need to be here at all then.
Okay, I'll do the list.
But I might omit some document or links that we might need because I've seen what you've done and I've seen those links you clicked on. So not that I'm not here, I'm here already. I'm here.
Okay, well, why don't you help Lucy and remind her and everything? So, anyways, let's go on to.
I will work along with her then. I will work along with her.
Great. Okay, so let's do our wrap up. So we have Jay, Lucy, and Martins. So we started at 1. So we've been 2 hours and 45 minutes, I think.
Let me see Martin time. He was logging in when he sent.
That was like 30 minutes after. I
will check on tracking. Or the track.
Lucy, we be around Zurich time.
Okay, you join like 40.
I think that Martins did about an hour and a half, maybe.
Martin joined like 46 minutes. It's like almost an hour. Like yeah. 20 minutes to the 15. Like 14 minutes to 1 hour. So we joined like 46 minutes. Not an hour now.
Anyways, I thought this was a pretty good session. I will talk to you all later. Any last questions for me?
The last question, So what next after voting for the payroll, Jay?
Well, then I think we can do the accounting and the running of the payroll.
Okay. That means I will have to do the first accounting report for this month to know if we have something.
Well, we need to do the accounts receivable, so we need to get paid, right? So we have the invoices, and so
Yes.
the money that we're going to use to.
Pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
The money that we are going to use to get paid for the payroll needs to come from the invoices that we're going to get from the clients, right? So we need to go through the invoices, do the accounts receivable, then do the accounting, make sure all the money's in the correct locations, then we can do the payroll, okay? But there
Okay.
should be plenty of money to do the payroll because we have the invoices that should match the amount of money that we are spending. Yeah, and the $12 that we spent for the recruitment should already have been spent, so it's already in the in the platform, right? Like in the escrow.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, sounds good. I will talk to you later. Any other last question?
No. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye. Ciao.
Bye.
Remember to do your rapid hyper checkout.